Hey, welcome back to Joe's Motoventure. Back up here at All American Harley Davidson today. We're taking out the new 2025 Street Glide Ultra for a little test ride. It's a pretty cool bike. It's got the new lowers that Harley's offering for the new models. It's got the same 117 that's in the 2024 Street Glide and Road Glide. It's got heated grips from the factory, which is nice. I've got those on because it's like 40 degrees out here today. We'll just go for a little scenic ride, see what this thing can do. Comfortable bike. The seat's okay on this thing. I'm a bigger guy, I'm tall, so I like a little extended reach seat, but I definitely like this better than what came on my Road Glide stock. The bars are too low for me as well, which is one of the things I didn't like about the 24 Street Glide when I test rode it when I bought my Road Glide. But obviously both of those things can be changed pretty easy. Bike also has different floorboards than come on the other models. They're pretty comfortable and they look good. It's got a taller windshield than the Street Glide comes with from the factory. You know, the regular Street Glide, which for my height, it's actually perfect. But this bike feels pretty natural to me, being that I have the Road Glide already. I was interested to see what these lower fairings do. That's really the biggest thing to me on these Ultras. Obviously they come with a Tour Pack from the factory. It's the same Tour Pack as the Rushmore models. This bike feels way lighter than the Rushmore era Ultras. So in the previous generations, the Ultras were all, you know, the Ultra Limited and the Road Glide Ultra. I know a lot of people aren't happy that they kind of did away with the Ultra Limited and now they have the Street Glide Ultra. Really the biggest thing you're missing is a lot of the unnecessary trim that came on the Ultras. You know, it's kind of a dated look. I know, you know, the older guys like that. But the older guys are getting older and the younger guys are where a lot of the market is now. So for me, I like that it, you know, doesn't have a lot of that extra trim. Man, this bike will just lay into the corners. I rode a 24 Ultra Limited probably about 6-8 months ago with the 114, and after riding my Road Glide for a little bit with the 117, that bike just felt so slow. It's not a slow bike, it's got plenty of power, but this, you know, there's a little bit more weight on this than the Road Glide, but you don't feel it at all. It's got all the power you need. These new generation Milwaukee 8s are just phenomenal motors. You see, the grips are nice. I've got pretty thick leather gloves on and I can definitely feel it. I've got it on high. It's actually kind of too hot, so I'm gonna turn it down to medium. This is actually a good little test for me because I bought heated grips for my Road Glide recently. I haven't installed them yet, but I was curious how these gloves would work with those, and I think they'll be pretty good. Obviously with the Street Glide, your bars are down below the fairing, and so you get a lot more wind protection. The Road Glide, your hands are up above the fairing, and so you don't get the wind protection that you get on the Street Glide. So it will be a little bit different on my bike, but they're pretty toasty. We'll stop off at the park here again, and just like I did in the lowrider video, and do a little walk around of the bike, show you the things that are new for this year on this bike. This is a brand new model, so I guess everything's new, but show you what it has that the standard Street Glide does not have. Man, my hands are still hot even on medium. Little guy playing with the RC car over here. Alright, so there it is. 2025 Street Glide Ultra. At its basics, it's the same as the Street Glide. You know, that's got the same engine, same bags. This is the black with chrome trim. It's got a nice little pinstripe in the paint. The big difference is, like I said, is obviously the lower fairings. I'm not personally a fan of them. I don't like the look of them, but it's nice with these versus the old Ultras. The old Ultras were twin cooled. They had a radiator, and the radiator, well, actually had two radiators that were built into the lowers, and so you didn't have all this storage here that you get with these new models. The other nice thing is on the Rushmore bikes, the lowers came back around the engine guard or through the engine guard pretty far, and I've got pretty large feet, and so they were actually in my way quite a bit. So these new lowers, where your foot would be, everything is in front of the engine guard, so there's actually a lot more foot room, which is nice. But I just don't like the style of them. They don't look like Harley Davidson to me, but obviously that's my opinion. They've got vents in them. There's a little slide here. You can open up that vent, you know, on the hotter days. They come with the mid-frame deflectors, which is nice. That's something I want to add to my Road Glide, because these Milwaukee 8s put out a lot of heat around your legs. So in the summertime, it's a little bit miserable. The Ultra comes with your saddlebag guards. Said it has the taller windshield on it, which is really nice because the stock windshield on the standard Road Glide and Street Glide is, I haven't met too many people that like them. You got the heated grips, which kind of look like, the heated grips look very similar to what comes on the standards, but you have this button here on the end, which is a nice change from the Rushmore models. The Rushmores had like a knob that you had to turn for your different settings. This, you just push it, and it's got 3 settings. I do like the look of these new Batwing fairings. I actually really wanted a Street Glide, a new Street Glide, but after riding the Street Glide and the Road Glide, I fell in love with the Road Glide. But they're both great looking bikes. So there's a new floorboard, just a solid black, simple, which I'm not a flashy guy. I like simple. Got a different tank badge on the Ultra. They did away with, previous generations had the comms port here. Everything's Bluetooth now, so they did away with that. Just like the regular Street Glide, you have this big tray, which is really nice. That is one of the big advantages of the Street Glide over the Road Glide, I think. The seat is actually pretty nice. Like I said, the stock seat on my Road Glide, I was not a fan of. It just pushed on me wrong. I'm a big guy, and so it had a lot of curve here, and it created pressure points, right here on the edges on my lower back. And it's also got a nice big passenger pillion, which is a big improvement over the standard as well. Still not a detachable tour pack from the factory, just like the older Ultras, but that can be changed. You can buy the docking kit and all that and change it. All right, let's get back on the road, do a little bit more riding. We'll get out on the highway a little bit and see how this thing feels out on the highway. I didn't realize this thing was in sport mode. But I'm used to that on my bike, so no big deal. This is just such a smooth bike. I said the old Ultras always felt so much heavier to me, and obviously with the new Street Glide and the new Road Glide, they feel way lighter than the previous years. And it same holds true for the Ultra. It feels 100 pounds lighter than it actually is. And the new suspension on these bikes is way better than what they had in 23 and back. They're very confidence-inspiring bikes. You could just lay into the turns with them. So if you turn the bike off, you got to turn your heated grips back on. They turn off and stay off. This is the first time I've ever ridden with heated grips, and so I'm definitely liking it. I'm looking forward to when I get them on my bike. Still can't get over the power that these new bikes have. Harley really stepped their game up in 24, and they've stepped it up this year on a lot of bikes. Last year was the Street Glide and Road Glide. Really, that was the where the focus was. This year they have the Street Glide Ultra. They've made changes to every Softail in their lineup. They did away with the Softail Standard, which I get. It wasn't a very popular selling bike. It was a great bike. It was a great price for a Softail. But you know, everybody wants something a little bit nicer. But with the new Lowrider S and ST having the 117, the high output 117 with the Screaming Eagle 511 cam. If you missed my last video, check it out. I've test rode the Lowrider ST. Make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe. Everything in the Softail lineup has a 117 now. Not all of them are high output, but they're all still, they have plenty of power now. You know, last year, I think if you got a standard, it had a 107, and the Heritage and the Fat Boy, I believe, had 114s. And the Street Bob had a 114, and the S and ST had the regular 117. And the new generation 117 that's in this and in my Road Glide makes a little bit more power than the previous generation 117. But then the S and the ST having the high output, it's just a game changer. Those things are rockets for what they are. If these bars were 2 or 3 inches higher, they'd be great. Obviously they would block your mirrors. On my 2014 Street Glide I had 12-inch bars on it, which sat right about here, just above the fairing. And I did the 3-inch drop brackets on the mirrors, and that was great. If these were like a 10-inch bar, I don't think those drop brackets would work, and so you'd have to put the mirrors in your hand controls, which that's another change they made with this. You know, the Ultra Limiteds in the Rushmore era had mirrors in your hand controls, where the Street Glide had mirrors similar to this. And I always thought it was a cleaner look having your mirrors here. So it's nice to see that the Street Glide Ultra still has the mirrors in the fairing. This thing is phenomenal out on the highway. That's what this thing's built for. I'm cruising around 75 miles an hour. You barely feel the bumps in the road. So this bike is super nimble. I think it's a big improvement over previous generation Ultras. Be interested to see if they come out with a Road Glide Ultra next year. You don't realize how fast you're going on these bikes. It's the same way on my Road Glide. That was a big thing to get used to coming off of the twin cam. It's hard to go slow on these things though. It just rides so nice. Coming back up on the dealership here. Like I said in my Lowrider ST video, if you're looking for a bike, you're in the Southern Maryland area or nearby, make sure you come check them out. The customer service here is great. Katie's always happy to help. Keenan, the sales manager, is happy to help. Steve's here, he's another salesman. They got a new guy, Kennard, I just met today. A real nice guy. If you need to talk to Keith, the GM, he's always happy to help. Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.